landrats and chicken. Hello and welcome to another episode of Landrats. This week we installed the rudder, we installed the tiller, and we also installed the prop shaft over there. So stay tuned to see how all of that went. We started by painting the shaft between the tiller and the rudder with a thick epoxy paint that we're sure won't have any problems, because we don't want rust building up in there because it's difficult to access. So after painting that, we had two fittings that we moved in here, one at the bottom, one at the top, so we'll quickly go from there.
We painted the sticker tube for the prop shaft. I put an extra layer of epoxy in there, and I fitted that bush in the front there. I also fitted the bush at the back here where the rudder goes in. It's a bad. I've also put another layer of epoxy inside, because that's not somewhere that you get often. So I want the paint to be strong inside. So yeah, it's the 15th of December. I'm getting in a hurry to get to the coast. The bush for the top. While we've epoxied it and the epoxy is still wet, we put that in there, so I'm sure the epoxy will now glue it in place. Now all we've got to do is just grease it up and put the rudder back.
It's a bit anticlimactic. I even brought the mooring stick.
Yeah, I thought we're gonna see how we battled with the bottom one. I suppose the bottom one you don't want that one, but it can't fall out because it's lying on top of the rudder. But the top one won't fall out now either. See how we did it, try and get the bottom one in.
Just before we put the rudder back in, we decided to clean it up a bit with a flapper disc, just to make it nice and smooth. And then we just went right into it and popped it in. After cleaning the shaft for the rudder, we were putting it back in when we noticed we forgot to put in the propeller. So we had to do that first. But before we get into that, I'll quickly show you a couple of weeks ago when we got it cleaned.
We've got the shaft, the main drive shaft for the boat. We're going to polish that as well. It's got a couple of scratches. You can have a look there. There's a couple of scratches on it. So I just want to get that polished up. So when we put a new seal, it doesn't damage the seal. So Jan is setting up the lathe there. We've got Jan polishing the shaft, starting with a coarse sandpaper and working down to a fine one.
We're busy with the rudder. We almost forgot to put the prop in first, so we had to take it out again. But it's not going in that nicely, so I'm just gonna sand it a bit on the inside. Okay, well, here's the rubber seal, and I can feel there's paint at the top there, so I'm just gonna sand it now with this, and then we blew it out with the air just to clean it. Now we're gonna see if it comes through.
Now we're putting a bit of marine grease. Show us there. They say it's marine grease, so hopefully it's the right thing. And put some on the shaft. No, that's too much. That's too much. This is half of that.
and then the shaft is through the boat. So as soon as we get the engine back, which should be soon, we can connect that up and then have a powered boat, at least for now. More grease for the rudder. A lot of stuff hasn't been on the boat in a while, so it's quite dirty with old paint and whatnot. So we quickly clean the fitting that keeps the rudder at the top. It's basically just a little bracket that closes around that shaft and stops it from just dropping out into our grave. Well, now the rudder's in, so it's lunchtime and then time for the tiller.
Yeah.
Lunch is over, time to put in that tiller quickly. Let's see what this looks like after all the time in storage. Doesn't look too bad. See the woods there where it's out of the cover was destroyed, I think, back on when it was still in the boat, and then it's just very dusty, as everything turns out to be on the boat. Quickly see if we can put that in. I think this is for the old electronic autopilot, but since we've got the wind vane now, I don't think we've got need for it. Just pop that over there. Difficult to turn. Also a bit of play on that thing there, huh? That's just how it was. We're taking the rudder out again now. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but it's very tight, it's very difficult to turn, which isn't ideal. So I think it's because we painted and blixened in that seal there.
Made it smaller.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to take it out and then see if we can match it a bit better, fit it a bit better, sand it down or whatnot. But you can see there, look how it scratched it as we waddled it out.
I was gonna beam it out slightly. Just looks like it should be 50 millimeters, and it is 59.9, so it's 0.1 of a millimeter. I'm just gonna give it a light coating there. It's the one that's dirty, eh?
Yeah. Since the rudder wasn't turning very easily, we went and bought these flapper discs quickly, just to get a little bit more play on the holes, so it moves a bit easier.
Comes out.
We're gonna use that flapper disc at the bottom here as well to make the hole a little bit bigger, so it turns a bit smoother. Otherwise, I'm sure the wind vane won't be able to move it, and also, yeah, it'll just be difficult to move by hand as well. It's a bit easier now, but still not exactly where we want it to be. But I think we're very close now. I can easily move it. How's it up there, Toppy?
No, it's still a bit tight, I think.
But it's close, nah?
Yeah, it's close. Rather do small increments and do everything one time and have it too big. Do it again.
The moment of truth. Give it a good old turn. Is it better? Let me try it. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, at the top now. See what it's like here. There's a bit of play there.
And I've got some copper shim stock that I'm going to put in there just to reduce the play there a bit.
There's, even though we fixed the play there now with those little pieces of copper, there's still a bit of play over there, so we're not going to put the tiller back. It might be in the way right now. We're going to get that fixed as well.
You want to get it welded up and machined so it's a bit of a tighter fit.
Yeah.
And this little bit less play.
Hopefully everybody's not closed for Christmas yet. Okay, since the rudder is in now, it's time to close up our hole again. That's another episode from me and the Vanderbijl Park Parrot. We'll see you again next week. Cheers.
Shut up.